Ah, Kizuna Drive, a game with which I have some history with. The history being not understanding what the hell is going on in this game and why this game is so hard. The last time I played this game was 10 years ago and I hated my experience with it. And what would you know, this time was no different. In general, this game came out on July 15, 2010 for the PSP and is the last game in the Uzumaki Chronicle series. During the playthrough I had several moments of which I just wanted to give up. Starting off, this game has no content, like no, for real. All we have are scenario missions, which are basically the story missions, and free battle missions, which are basically side missions, and that's all. But hey, Psy, it means that the scenario mode has lots of content, right? Or that the gameplay is really intuitive, right? Yeah, sure. The game flow of this game is similar to the last games, but at the same time it is not. This is a 3D beat 'em up game, just like the last game. In each mission or scenario, you are thrown into a small arena and you and your 3 teammates have to defeat waves of enemies until proceeding to the next stage of the level. Yes, this time you are able to bring up to 3 more extra characters that can help you in battle. Before starting a mission or scenario, you are able to pick from a huge roster of characters as your supports. The interesting thing is that each character is split into 3 different types of characters. We got the attacking type, which basically will try to do as much damage as possible, support type, which is kinda the same as the attacking type but utilizes jutsus more, and the healing type, which will heal you and your teammates when you are low on health. When you are battling, you are able to cycle through your teammates and make them execute a jutsu by pressing the square button. The AI for the teammates is meh, to say the least. They will sometimes just wander around and get into enemy fire. Sometimes the healer won't actually heal you or your teammates. Regarding yourself, the battle mechanics have changed as well. X is to jump, evade enemy attacks, and when being attacked, to use substitution jutsu. This is the only defensive tool you have, since there is no blocking in this game. You attack using the circle button, recharge your chakra by holding the square button, by pressing the triangle button you use either a jutsu or an item depending on this selection wheel. Yeah, when using the left and right D-pads you are able to select if you want to use a jutsu or an item. There are no dedicated buttons for jutsus or items. Before each mission you are able to edit the jutsu's item selection. The more you play the story missions, the more jutsus and tools you can unlock. As well, this game has no lock-on feature. If you want to target the enemy, you have to use L1 and R1 to rotate the camera left or right and then attack the enemy. At first it was hard for me to get used to the rotating camera with these 2 buttons, but with time I got used to it so much that I didn't even notice it. By pressing the circle button, each character can execute only one combo string, just like in the last game. But if in some parts of the string you press the triangle button, the combo string will end with a new jutsu. So there is some variation to the attack. If I'm not mistaken, each character has 4 ways to end the combo string. The combat in itself is a bit repetitive. You attack using the same combo string, then in some instances you make your teammates attack the enemies, and that's it. With time, this combat becomes a snore fest for me and I did automatically without paying any attention to it. The idea of the missions are as follows. You are dropped into an area and have to defeat waves of enemies. Once you do that, you are either moved to a new zone or this yellow thingy is given for you to proceed with the story. Once you have moved to the multiple stages, usually there will be like a final boss of the level waiting for you. There are 3 types of bosses in this game. They are these generic ninja bosses that each has their own gimmick to them. For example, there is a boss which can use shadow clone jutsu and you have to identify the real one to deal damage. Then we have the story character bosses, where each of these bosses have 2 stages, their human form and their fury form, their transformation stage. Each boss's transformation form has a gimmick to them. One example could be Yomito's transformation, where in order to do damage to him, you have to attack his legs first and then attack his head to actually deal damage. And last but not least, we have the huge beast boss battles, which you will have to fight multiple times during the story mode. By battling through the enemies, with time you will fill up this Kizuna meter. This meter is filled by using your teammates and executing the Kizuna combo mechanic. Basically, if you have stunned an enemy, you are given a chance to play ping pong with the enemy. The enemy is then being hit by you and your teammates around. When the enemy is flying towards you, you can either press any of the buttons except X to launch the enemy back to a teammate to extend the Kizuna combo, or you can press the X button to land a finishing blow to the enemy, dealing damage and increasing the meter. The longer you extend the combo, the faster the whole moment will happen and you will have less time to react when the enemy is coming right at you. If you fail, you will be thrown away and will lose a lot of health. On the other hand, the longer the combo, the more damage you can do it in the final blow. There is a huge risk, but at the same time a high reward if you can keep the enemy long enough. Okay, that's nice, but what actually does this Kizuna meter do? Well, there are 2 things. One is that when you or your teammates are down, you can use some portion of the Kizuna meter to revive your teammates. If the meter is too low, you can't do that. The second one is that when you finish a chapter and have a full meter plus all of your teammates are alive, you are able to receive an S rating on the mission. Once you receive an S rank, it means you're able to unlock more stat scrolls for you to use in each mission. Stat scrolls? What are those? Well, this game has a small RPG mechanic to it where you are able to use these scrolls which you get by completing missions to boost up your character. There are multiple types of scrolls in this game. Some scrolls focus more on health, some on attack, and some scrolls help you by nullifying some debuffs that the enemies can give you. Not only that, but the scroll increases the base stats like health, chakra, attack, and so on. The higher the scroll's level and type, the more points you get into these categories. This is the way you can boost your character up for each mission, which is actually a curse in disguise. If you like this type of content, feel free to subscribe. This will give me more motivation to play other interesting Naruto games. But anyhow, there will be some points in the scenario mode of which you will fight tougher and tougher enemies. One of them being this fake One Tails fight. I tried multiple times to defeat this boss, but I couldn't. I was just underleveled, which meant that I needed to go to the side mission section and complete some missions in order to get more powerful scrolls, in order to defeat Ninetales. Here lies the biggest problem in this game. If you play solo, it is mandatory for you to play the majority of the side missions whenever you are stuck in the story mode. If I'm not mistaken, this game was created with an idea of local co-op, where you would do these missions with your friends and boost yourselves faster. Doing it solo is a pain in the ass. If you play a side mission and fail almost right at the end, well, tough luck. Go do everything again. There are no checkpoints or anything in this game. I had 3 instances in which I had to resort to playing the side missions in order just to progress the main story. In these 3 instances, I wanted to give up so badly, but I forced myself on beating this game just for the sake of the story. The story is split into 17 chapters. This time, the story mode doesn't follow the events of the show, but rather tells a new filler-like story. The story in general starts right after the Hidan and Kakuzo arc. Well, that's what I'm thinking at least, which is a bit strange because in the last game we had gone only until the Kazagaga rescue arc, but here we skip a few arcs and get into a filler story? Huh? But before we start with the story mode, I wanted to mention that this game has a custom made anime intro which has all of the new characters animated, plus the song just slaps. This intro makes it so as if for real we are about to witness a new filler episode of Naruto. The story is portrayed with these still images of characters but with given sound effects and movement, making it a more interesting experience. There are also small in-game cutscenes, but there aren't many of those. The story as well has some funny moments like this.
Lately.
So, that's what people thought of me?
Naruto! Kakashi-sensei didn't go see Naruto because he was hospitalized. He's always been like that!
But okay, the story starts in a hidden dream village, a village made up only for this game. At night, Naruto appears and slaps a ceiling tag on his forehead, turning into the Ninetales and destroying the village. All of the dream village ninjas are shocked, seeing that the hidden leaf village have betrayed them and sent their Ninetales to attack them. Just a small side note, the dream ninjas in my opinion look so cool and have an interesting design to them. Only funny thing is that their headbands has 3 Z's which represents the dream village. Anyhow, the village elder sacrificed himself to stop Naruto. After that, the remaining ninjas swear to avenge the village and the fallen people. In the next scene, we see our beloved slimeball Danzo talking to a mysterious figure, saying that the plan is in motion. Oh no, what is he up to now? In the next scene, we see Naruto, Kakashi, Sakura, Sai, and Shikamaru investigating reports of missing leaf ninjas. While doing the investigations, some of the Dream Village ninjas show up and confront Naruto on what he did. Of course, Naruto is clueless and doesn't understand what the hell is going on. One day, the One Tails appears near the village and is going towards the village. After stopping the One Tails, it turns out it wasn't the real One Tails, but a missing leaf ninja that was transformed into the One Tails. Like, what? In the next scene, while training with Ebisu Sensei, Konohamaru is stolen by the Dream Village. Naruto and team head to the Dream Village to save Konohamaru, of course along the way being stopped by multiple Dream Ninjas. In the meantime, we see the newly found Hebi team wandering around looking for Itachi. At some point, Hebi encounters the Dream Village ninjas, where one says that he has seen these eyes before. Sasuke understands that they have seen Itachi and wants to know more information about him. At the same time, Naruto appears in the destroyed hidden Dream Village and confronts their leader. After smacking him around, the leader orders the rest of the ninjas to unleash the Three Heads, which is a made-up monster that is able to destroy the world. It is a cataclysm only transformed into a monster. They want to use it in order to destroy the village. Naruto tries to convince them that he has nothing to do with it. The chief doesn't believe him, until the old geezer who died of killing fake Naruto turns out to be actually alive, and turns out he orchestrated all of this in order to destroy the hidden leaf and to be the leader of the hidden Dream Village, because in the Dream Village there are 2 clans which fought for the role of the chief, and this old geezer's clan lost, so he became a racist and a madman wanting to destroy the world. He was the one who stole Konohamaru as well. He takes Konohamaru and slaps a ceiling tang onto him, turning him into the Two Tails. Like, holy shit, this guy is just pure evil. After defeating the Two Tails and retrieving Konohamaru, Naruto and team rush to the lava caves in which the Three Heads is sealed. When Naruto leaves, Hebi arrives and interrogates the village chief for answers about Itachi. Of course, only after smacking some dream ninjas around. Sadly, Sasuke doesn't get any new information from him and they all leave. This is the last time we see Sasuke. I don't know what was the point of adding him in the story if he didn't learn anything about Itachi's whereabouts, but okay. Naruto and team enter the lava cave in which you have to fight 3 bosses at the same time, which was painful for me because I was under-leveled, and then fight their transformations as well. Holy moly, this was a pain in the ass. After defeating them, they still release the Three Tails, like, come on. After which the old geezer appears and reveals his true intentions and then dips with the Three Tails, but right before doing so, he slaps a ceiling tank onto his son's forehead, turning him into the Two Tails. Like, who does this? After defeating the Two Tails, Naruto and the team rush to the village in order to stop them, but have to face the Nine Tails first, because this old geezer again took one of the Dream Ninjas hostage and turned them into a beast. Shikamaru and team said that they will handle this and Naruto has to go stop the Three Heads. In the end, Naruto faces off against the Three Heads, where the old geezer combines himself into him. This battle was pretty easy and was a bit lackluster, since this was supposed to be a beast that can destroy the whole world, but can be killed by simple Rasengan. After defeating him, the old geezer has a change of heart and the Dream Village asks for forgiveness for blaming the Leaf and Naruto. The Leaf Shinobi helped to rebuild the Dream Village. Well, with that I mean Yamato, who is the only one actually doing something, and with that, the story ends. Or not. In the last scene we see Danzo saying that the plan has failed and that he will think of something new in order to become the Hokage, which means he was the one orchestrating all of this. I hate Danzo even more now, and with that, the story ends. I have mixed feelings about this game. The story itself is interesting, feels just like another filler episode of Naruto, but with more thought put into the characters and the new village. I had the fact that you are forced to play the side missions if you want to progress the main story mode of this game. The combat is repetitive and sometimes can get annoying. Teammate AI is all over the place. Sometimes they will do as you ask and sometimes they'll just run blatantly at the enemy and die. Do I recommend this game? I'd say no, just because of the previously mentioned issues and that the story itself doesn't justify the pain and suffering to witness it. Have you ever played this game? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's all from me. I wish you all a nice day/evening. Bye guys.